Everyone mentioned today is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything I discuss here is theory until proven fact, even if it is.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real. But how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Yo, we're in a Toyota 2025, and we noticed that on the screen, you can't use navigation unless you pay a subscription fee for it, right? Which is insane. Like, you can't just hook your phone up and use navigation on your phone. That's free. So we looked at the subscription fees, and it's $15 a month. It's also $15 a month to stream music to the actual screen in your car. Okay, together it's $25 a month. Then I also saw somebody on a forum say it's $8 a month to be able to see your oil level and your tire pressure. Bruh, look at this.
Hey, man.
What kind of hell?
To use the car.
Basically
use the car. And the key fob.
The car's like 40 grand. Oh yeah, remote start. You have to literally pay a subscription fee to get remote start. The vehicle is capable of all these things. What the fuck
you
reality
have to
are we living
pay
in?
to use them. Toyota.
Yo, we're in a Toyota 2020.
God. Oh my God. Now I can hear myself. Holy shit. I'm having technical issues. Hang on. That one? Can you hear me, guys? Okay, can you hear me without the echo now? Can you hear me without the echo? It's all good now? Oh my God, I can't get anything to work for me. Holy shit. Okay, let's start that again. I am so sorry. Thank you, Alex, for ringing me. I had no idea that you couldn't hear me. Okay, let's try again. Holy shit, sorry guys. Wall Street Apes said, we as a society have to fiercely reject this. And as you heard in the video earlier, this American just bought a brand new 2025 Toyota. You must pay a monthly subscription fee to stream music to the screen in your vehicle. Your own phone's Bluetooth won't work. $15 a month to use the screen of your vehicle for navigation. Your own phone's Bluetooth won't work. You can bundle Bluetooth of music and navigation from your phone for $25 a month. Again, this is just to use your own Bluetooth from your own phone. There's also a monthly subscription fee to use your key fob to remote start your car. This can be bundled in with your music and navigation.
We noticed that on the screen.
We already heard you. Hang on. Let me read it this time. Oh, my goodness. Okay. There's also a monthly subscription fee to, use the key fob to start your own car. Can be bundled in with your music and navigation plan. $8 a month to be able to see your oil level and your tyre pressure remotely. What do they not get about you'll own nothing and be happy? Because that's what this is. You'll rent everything, including the little box that you live in the city. And you'll probably rent your bed. So when you're at work, someone else will be sleeping in your bed. Nice, eh? And they want everyone single, by the way. Okay, that's why you should have a family and have lots and lots of kids, I reckon. It's just me, though. C3, the judge needs to face consequences for this. I couldn't pronounce his name before. I don't think I'm going to have much chance this time. Meet David Mazarigos. A judge released him out on a $1,000 bail for assault. This was his 33rd arrest. That judge needs to be held accountable. That happens here in Australia too, and I'm sick of it. Hold people accountable. Okay, who had this on their 2025 bingo card? Mario Northall said Blackwater founder launches private army to defend Christians in Nigeria. Eric Prince says he's building a private military company to protect Nigerian Christians from ISIS-linked militants and wants Vatican funding to do it. Prince directly called out Pope Leo XIV. Why not help my brothers protect Nigerian Christians from the Muslims who are massacring them? Prince argues persecuted communities need organised professional defence, not just prayers and press releases. Over 7,000 Christians have reportedly been killed in Nigeria this year alone. The source, La Gazzetta. He also said the world cannot stand idly by. US Congressman condemns Boko Haram's latest massacre. American lawmaker Riley Moore has denounced Boko Haram's violent seizure of Karawa, Nigeria, after militants stormed the town in a brutal overnight offensive that left dozens dead and Christians singled out for attack. Moore said the world cannot stand idly by while violent Islamic extremists rampage through communities. These acts of barbarism demand immediate international condemnation. Karawa near the Cameroon border has seen years of conflict, but this assault marks one of the ground's bloodiest in months, with churches torched, families displaced, and entire neighbourhoods emptied overnight. Moore called on Washington to act against the persecution of Christians and push for a stronger international response, warning that global silence only fuels the next atrocity. Boko Haram may be local, but its terror still echoes worldwide, and for Karawa, the world's outrage may come too late. Okay, so there's a war on Christians going on in Nigeria at the moment, and this person's calling Blackwater Eric Prince. Did you have that on your bingo card for this year? I sure didn't. Okay, Matthew Kamanzuli said coercion to digitally identify as the bridge too far. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a long one. Let me cough first. Hang on, I'm going to mute. As long as I remember to unmute. Okay, Matthew Kamanzuli said coercion to digitally identify as the bridge too far. I developed a love for technology when I was young. I got my first computer at 8 years old. By the time I was 9, I could do things with it my parents could not fathom. I just understood it. It made sense, and I spent my youth with technology. It was some 8 or 9 years later that I got the internet. Back then it was impossible to fathom what it would become. People were once too hesitant to even put their credit card details into websites. One of my first jobs was with a software company based in Silicon Valley, California. It provided technology to fledgling .com businesses just before the great big tech stock crash. The biggest problem those companies had was trust. We were smarter back then. Many of those companies failed because people did not trust the web. Whether it was believing the products actually existed or just transacting, trust was front of people's mind. And PayPal did away with that. I believe they were part of it. Today, people share their most intimate photos and private details on social media in ways our ancestors would caution against. The problem is, once uploaded, things on the internet could practically live forever. Those of generations past that had brushes with brutal regimes of last century would surely look aghast at people of today, as they just drop their location, tag their friends on the permanent record. Most of this information in the hands of private companies. Companies that we know exploit us, because when the service is free, you are the product. Over the past few decades, I've learned that behind all of the greatest layers of security, everything is just bits sitting in buckets, data and information distilled to electronic packs and organised in a database. This information is stored in physical spaces, often many at the same time, and backed up on the regular, so it's just everywhere. It's not magic. We have developed ways to secure this information, obfuscate it, pepper and salt it, and cover it in encryption. But like the unsinkable Titanic and the unescapable Alcatraz, there's no perfect way to secure data made by very clever people from other very clever people. Worse, we have wrongly come to rely on computers and technology as oracles, infallible sources of truth. So much that our identity, our virtual digital identity, is almost more real than our living, breathing, fleshing, blood-filled self. So when that identity is broken into zeros and ones, put in a collection of data cells covered with layers of confusion and stored, it becomes as much a unique and official proof of us as our fingerprint. That's one of the many problems with digital ID. It will outlive us, and if stolen or misused, we will have an impossible time trying to undouble the helix of our real and true self from the digital fraud perpetrated upon us. The best way to protect our identity and ourselves is to give out as little as we can, as infrequently as possible. Once the information is transferred, it is out there in the digital ether, forever. The best way to secure information is not share it. Technocrats, bureaucrats and hackers can be about as bad as each other, and the last thing we need is for the computer to say no when we insist it is me. At that point, there's nothing we can do. Like YouTube trying to do that AI BS. Being forced to age verify comes with unacceptable risks to our privacy and online liberty. Being compelled to trust big tech, little tech and the government is a bridge too far for me. I still love technology, but I can assure you I'm far more aware of the dangers today than ever before. We are a people who value our privacy and don't much like to be on show. I think it should stay that way. Worse still, every major social media site is foreign-owned and operated from overseas, adding even more unacceptable and unnecessary risk. Say no to social media age verification and no to digital ID. I just want Australia back. And this is Julie Inman Grant, who's an American lady who's come to Australia, and I said she might be part of the CIA. I don't know about that, but you never know. Okay, so I might be wrong about that, but listen to this. BS.
As the regulator, I don't presume to know the company's infrastructure better than they do, or to prescribe the technologies that I thought they should use. What we did suggest was, and we took great heed of your amendment. Hopefully you recognize that. But what we ultimately advocated was what we call a waterfall or a successive validation approach. So many of the larger companies are using...
I wonder if she's using her arts degree very well in this position.
Age inference technologies, so they'd be looking at different behavioral signals of young people. 13-year-olds usually talk to other 13-year-olds or logging in before and after school, et cetera, et cetera. And the question is for them, what would they be layering on for a greater degree of certainty without only using either physical or digital ID as a sole means of.
I got it. That's a very, very roundabout way of saying
Yeah.
that companies may have to store. They may have to. TikTok, for example, their parent company is based in Beijing. TikTok are going to verify children, even potentially children's.
But they already do, Senator. So how is this going to be different?
Well, you're going to be, well, not you, but the legislation is going to be requiring that they take active steps to do that. Some do, some don't, presumably. So, and it may be there.
Yeah. She used to work for Twitter.
As the regulator,
I don't know how her arts degree is helping her in this position. I don't think she should be in this position, especially when her only qualification is an arts degree. No. Go away. America, can you take her back? Can we deport her? Oh, please, Trump, take her back. And then deal with her over there. Okay, Happy Motorhead here said, remember when? I'm so glad I grew up doing this and not this, aren't you? Holy cow. I watch my grandkids now and go, oh my God, outside, come on, come on, come on, outside. So I'm outside touching grass a lot, you know, lately. Yeah. Okay, Coach Tommy Tuberville said you won't hear this from mainstream media, but 62,000 Christians have been murdered by Islamic extremists in Nigeria, which I just said. It's a genocide. Extreme Islamic ideology has no place in America. Ban Sharia law. We should all do that.
You also won't hear from Democrats about how radical Islamic terrorists are currently carrying out a mass genocide of Christians in Nigeria. Think about this. More than 62,000 Christians have been slaughtered since 2000 by radical Islamic terrorists in Nigeria. You heard that right, 62,000. And just this year alone, more than 7,000 Nigerian Christians have been murdered because of their faith alone. You can't turn on the TV without hearing about Israel's so-called mass genocide of Palestinians every day. And yet when it comes to 62,000 Christians being slaughtered by radical Muslims, it's radio silence. This extreme ideology is straight from the pit of hell, and it has no place in American society. You also won't hear from Democrats.
I've been listening to a lot of people talk, and it's even ex-Muslims themselves, and it's sounding like that is the 666. Andy No said a Portland Antifa block has announced at 9 p.m. on October the 11th they plan to organise a laser attack to try and crash a federal aircraft flying over the ICE facility. Antifa plan to gather at multiple locations across the city and deploy lasers in an attempt to ground all spy planes. This will also serve as a distraction so other militants can make more daring actions elsewhere in the city. The Department of Homeland Security announced on September the 30th the arrest of 4 criminal illegal aliens for conducting laser strikes on airborne helicopters in an attempt to blind aircraft personnel. Lasers have also been used to cause injury to federal officers both during the current ICE occupation and during the BLM Antifa riot of 2020. You know, the fiery but mostly peaceful riots, those ones, you know, yeah, them ones. It's illegal to do that. Catch them, and God knows what we're going to see next. Okay. Okay. Carly Bowes said that's enough internet for today. Now, there's music behind this, so I may not be able to play it, but, you know, the music. Let's just watch. I think that'll be enough of a spectacle to just watch. What is going on? Do they not know this does not look good? What is wrong with these people? I mean, to each their own and that, but do you get down like this in your private life? I couldn't imagine anything worse. Can you imagine going to someone's house and seeing this? I'd be like, okay, see ya. I'll probably won't be back. I don't know. Looking at those costumes, I wouldn't be. Oh my God, it's all in the eyes, isn't it? Even the guys. In the eyes. Yeah, there's some weird shit going on here. They're trying to, I think they're singing, but like, you know, with censorship on YouTube. I mean, I got copyrighted yesterday for something that a guy was talking over and I was talking over the top of it, and the AI still grabbed it and said, no, you've played something in the background. Nice one. Okay, Libs of TikTok said former NC Governor Roy Cooper, Democrat, and former Rep Kathy Manning, Democrat, threw Rep Cecil Brockman a birthday bash. Cecil Brockman was just arrested on child sex crimes. The Democrat Party is one big child grooming club. Oh, look at this manly woman here. I don't know. What's wrong with women these days? Like, normal women don't look like this. I have to wonder sometimes if these people are AI and they just think we're going to keep following them and doing what we're told by these things. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there. Jack Pozo said Trump was right. Arsonist was just arrested. The Trump on the California fires on January 25th, it looks like something hit. We won't talk about what hit it. Obviously, he knows it was about as natural as Biden's chin. Okay, an arsonist has just been arrested. Let me see, what's this? Do they show the little guy? The little guy? The Palisades fire arson suspect named as Florida man Jonathan Rinderknecht. Yeah, little weasel of a man. Looks like yeah, okay. Fairy. 29-year-old Florida man's been arrested for intentionally starting the Palisades fire that ravaged Los Angeles in January. Okay. I can't see the whole screen. I've got too much in the way. I've got two screens and one's in the way of the other. LA in a minute said an arrest has been made in the fire. Yep, okay, we just saw that. A 29-year-old Uber driver that left a trail of evidence on ChatGPT is the man accused, and he could face the death penalty. Do you want to hear it, actually?
What is up? This is your LA in a minute, and an arrest has been made in the fire that devastated Pacific Palisades and Malibu this January. A 29-year-old Uber driver that left a trail of evidence on ChatGPT is the man accused, and he could face the death penalty. Let's get into it. First of all, the bulk of the great reporting on this story that we know now comes from Richard Winton and Hannah Fry of the LA Times. Winton is a Pulitzer Prize winner, and Fry is a great reporter that covers breaking news. After a 9-month investigation, authorities arrested and acting U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley announced that federal authorities are accusing Jonathan Rinderknecht of setting the brush fire on New Year's Eve that was initially thought to be put out by fire crews, but smoldered unnoticed for days before reigniting a week later. Rinderknecht, who at one point lived in Pacific Palisades, drove to the neighborhood after an evening shift as an Uber driver, where two of his passengers told law enforcement that he appeared agitated and angry that night. He drove towards Skull Rock Trailhead, parked his car, and attempted to contact a former friend, according to the report. From there, and this picture is from TMZ, prosecutors allege that he used his iPhone to take videos of the area known as the Hidden Buddha Clearing while listening to the French rap song, and pardon my accent, Un Zader Un Thi, which is quote-unquote a song of despair and bitterness according to authorities, whose music video shows a trash can being lit on fire. Now, in the 5 minutes after he allegedly set the fire, prosecutors said Rinderknecht called 911 several times, but the calls didn't go through because he didn't have cell service in the area. By the time Rinderknecht did reach 911, he was at the bottom of the hiking trail and reported the fire, but by that time, a resident had already reported the blaze. Now listen to this piece of evidence. According to authorities, while Rinderknecht was on the phone with 911, he allegedly typed this question into ChatGPT with a typo. But it says, "Are you at fault if a fire is lit because of your cigarettes?" Furthermore, amongst the evidence that was collected from his digital devices was an image he generated, also on ChatGPT, depicting a burning city. As the fire started to grow, Rinderknecht took off and left the neighborhood. Now, the New York Post reports that Rinderknecht was interviewed by investigators shortly after the blaze, but allegedly lied to investigators at the time. And now, 9 months later, Rinderknecht was arrested in Florida on Tuesday. Authorities said he lived in Southern California at the time of the incident and had a friend who lived in the area around when the fire was started, but he moved to Florida after the fire and after making false statements to authorities. So now the hearings and court procedures begin. But if the fire is found to be intentionally set, prosecutors can seek the death penalty. Federal arson charges already carry minimum sentences that range from 5 to 20 years, but they're stricter if it leads to injury or death. All right, LA, it's been a minute.
There you go. Now,
What is up?
I smoke, right? And I remember in early 90s, we had severe fires here in Australia. And I was travelling with a sister-in-law type thing. And we had to stop because the fires were crossing the road, right? And we smoked, both of us. And she threw her cigarette out the window. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, not that it mattered. There was already a bushfire going. But I'm like, do you not understand? Like, put your cigarette out. Yeah, I don't know. You got to extinguish. But that's not what this was, I don't think. I think he deliberately did it. But, you know, even with cigarettes, you do have to be careful when it's that hot that, you know, the place is a tinderbox. Alex Lace said, never forget the media used the Palisades fire to push their climate change agenda. Today, a man was arrested and charged with starting the LA fire with an open flame. You don't hate the media enough. No, you don't. No one hates the media enough. Here's how climate change fueled the Los Angeles fires. Conditions that fueled LA fires were 35% more likely because of climate change, scientists find. They tried doing that here in America and here in Australia. Here in America, where am I? Here in Australia in 2020, they were saying climate change, climate change. Well, we found out arsonists were responsible for most of it. Okay, but they say climate change. They try and convince everyone that it's real. Okay, and we already pretty much got that information. Okay, James Woods said they always leave California to escape the policies they voted for and promoted forever. Then the poor folks who are left have to clean up their mess. They're like the worst house guests ever. George Clooney, I can't look at him without seeing him and Obama on a boat with a little tiny Asian girl. Sorry. Ollie London said George Clooney says he's now based in France and his children have a much better life being raised there than Los Angeles. I wonder why. They have a much better life. I was worried about raising our kids in LA and the culture of Hollywood. I felt like they were never going to get a fair shake at life. I wonder why. France, they kind of don't give a shit about fame. I don't want them being compared to someone else's famous kids. Him and Amal. Is it Amal? Amal? I don't know. I don't know anymore. They all look funny, all these people. They're not normal. Michael, they could be bloody. Look, for all, I don't believe in reptilians, but, you know, I don't know now. You never know. Michael O'Keefe said, breaking, the Irish government has informed the EU they will not comply with the demand to force hate speech laws on the public. It's a hugely significant moment for free speech. Go Ireland. Okay, British Patriot said, wow, Germany joins Britain in the Raise the Colours campaign with thousands of Deutschland flags raised overnight. The German people want their country back. I don't blame them. Go the Germans, go the Irish, go the English. MJ Truth Ultra said, holy shizzles. Did you hear what Kash Patel said? Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is mapping out the entire financial structure of the Antifa organisation. The only reason you do that is RICO. Sorry, that's what it says. This is literally what the Q drops talk about happened long ago. Yeah, and when this financial system fails, there's another one ready to pick up right where it left off, okay? There might be like a few days where everyone's going, but it'll be okay. Just hang in there, okay? Jack Poser, MJ Truth Ultra said, Jack Pozo, I fear the next person to be killed could be sitting at this table right now. What's this? Oh, my God, this is funny as hell. Journalist Brandy Cruz says she no longer suffers from TDS, admits she suffered from TDS for 8 years, now says she's happier and thinks she got more attractive after recovery. Well done, love. Well done. It is kind of funny. Should we listen to it?
And I was told by probably a dozen people not to tell you this. I'm going to tell it to you anyway, because it's relevant to what we're talking about. I'm living proof that you can recover from TDS. I had strong Trump derangement syndrome for probably 8 years. This is one of the reasons I recovered from it. And by the way, it's much better to not have TDS. I'm happier, I'm healthier, more successful. I even think I got a little more attractive after I got rid of my Trump derangement syndrome. Yes. You know, I'm a reporter in Seattle, and frankly, I could not care any less what any of you have to say about this meeting. Could not care any less. We're not here for you. I'm not here to convince any of you that Antifa is a real thing, because if you have not come to that conclusion by now, you are never going to come to that conclusion because you don't want to see it. And you're going to go and you're going to say it's a bunch of right-wing conservative influencers who are here spinning a tale. I was one of you. I was a mainstream reporter in Seattle for 10 years. I was a TV reporter on the streets doing my job, and I was still assaulted by Antifa. So it's not about being conservative. It's about people who go there and show what they're doing. And when I saw, after all those years, that the media wouldn't be honest about what was happening, that Democratic politicians wouldn't be honest about what was happening, I thought, well, gosh, if they're not being honest about that, maybe they're not being honest about President Trump either. And it opened my mind to just looking at things for what they were. And now I find you quite funny, actually. Now I'm much happier about it. But, you know, for me, again, I could not care any less the stories that they go to print. This is what I care about. We have 3.5 years. Nothing is guaranteed, although I think if Democrats keep it up, we'll probably have Republican presidents for the next 3 decades. But nothing is guaranteed, and so what I want to see over the next 3.5 years is a full court press to dismantle Antifa once and for all in a meaningful way.
Well done, there you go. And Trump has vowed to do it, apparently. Okay, the opinionated black woman auntie said she'll have to whip out her big old on OnlyFans to pay that bill. Daniel said plus costs. Abby Chatfield has been ordered to pay ex-friend $79,000 for genocide supporter post. You know, this woman who got on the screen and started, she's an Aussie woman, and she was like all over the place. And then she got on with a boyfriend. She calls everyone Nazis, and yeah, she's a moron. She's a lefty. I think she's a shill for the left, for Labor. That's our left. They're our Democrats here in Australia. They're called Labor. Rapid Response 47 said POTUS officially proclaims Monday, October the 13th, 2025 as Columbus Day. There you go.
Christopher Columbus obviously discovered the New World in 1492. He was a great Italian explorer. He sailed his 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, across the Atlantic Ocean and landed in what's today the Caribbean. But this is a particularly important holiday for Italian Americans who celebrate the legacy of Christopher Columbus and the innovation and explorer zeal that he represented.
In other words, we're calling it Columbus Day.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to... Can you guys hear anything? Oh, my God, don't tell me. Can you guys hear when I play the audio? Oh, my goodness. Hey, Kirsten, how you going? Stu, George? Can you guys hear the audio all right? Yep, okay, just had to make sure. Whew, okay. Just so I know. Because I thought, I haven't checked I can't see the chat when I don't have YouTube up on the screen. So, yeah, it's really quite difficult. I should actually move this over to here. There we go. Then I can see the chat. How's that? Okay. British Intel, Cold War bombshell, Starmer linked to communist spy files. It's now been revealed that a young Keir Starmer ended up in communist spy files after joining a Czechoslovakian work camp during the Cold War. Britain's PM once tied to communist-era records, raises fresh questions over his judgment and loyalties. Sounds like Anthony Albanese, our Prime Minister. The media burying this as if it's nothing. This man now runs our country, still thinks he puts Britain first? Exclusive, how a young Keir Starmer ended up in a communist spy files after joining a Czechoslovakian work camp during Cold War. Okay, I think I reported on that a few weeks ago. But yeah, okay. Anyway. Just to let people know. The Yorkshire lass said, surely this Chinese spy scandal has to bring down Keir Starmer optically. I know we're in the exposure phase, but this has to be the final nail in the coffin, surely. Is there a Chinese spy as well? I believe intelligence are parading him around like a puppet and having a laugh. The country will be fine. We will always have been, always will be. Nothing can stop what's coming. We know where we heard that before, don't we? It will do if the media do their forking job properly. Yeah, I wish they would. Yeah, I'll become an IT department all on my own. I'm trying to work everything out. You should have seen me try and set up multi-streaming on Streamlabs this morning. Jeez, that was hard. Now I'm paying for 2 different stream. Oh, my God. Okay, anyway, let's not worry about that right now. I'm doing better where I am, so I can probably afford to keep doing that. I don't know. We'll see how I go. I can always cut it off if I can't afford it. Adam Brooks, a.k.a. SXPR, said, imagine counter-protesting, all masked up against grandmothers, mothers, aunts, sisters and daughters, gathered because a 14-year-old girl was sexually assaulted by a man that has been in the country just 8 days. The attempted intimidation yesterday was a disgrace to Britain. Let's have a look.
You can bring up a lot of people. There are bad in every culture.
Yeah, Prince Andrew.
Yeah, Prince Andrew.
I'm not a fan of Prince Andrew. If you watch me on the telly, I'll poke Prince Andrew. What are you talking about?
No one is
this isn't
in
about
the
colour of the skin. This is about peacefully demonstrating for the safety of our women and our children. And you're counter-demonstrating us.
So
what does that say for you? Morons.
God. Sounds like just a bunch of noise to me. What about you? Gunther Eagleman said MSDNC is hosting 3 people who all deserve to be in prison. Andrew Wiseman, John Brennan and Mark Elias. There you go. They all belong in prison, right? They do, actually. Libs of TikTok said exclusive. DHS shared with us the worst of the worst illegals arrested across the country yesterday despite Democrats' shutdown. Democrats want to give these pedos and killers taxpayer-funded health care. ICE agents are currently working without pay to keep our country safe. Disgusting, heinous and monstrous are the only words to describe people who sexually prey on innocent children. These criminal illegal aliens do not belong in our country, and every American should be thanking the brave men and women of ICE who are working without pay to arrest these public safety threats from our communities. Under President Trump and Secretary Noem, DHS will not let the Democrats' government shutdown slow us down from making America safe again. And I believe they'll do this and they will get paid very well afterwards once it's opened back up again. Now, this is all there's a big plan going on, guys. MJ Truth Ultra said, you know, California's a shithole if it chased away a parasite like George Clooney to France. Or did he run away because of something else? What about a photo of Obama and George Clooney in a boat with a little Asian girl seeming to zip his pants up? I was worried about raising our kids in LA in the culture of Hollywood. I wonder why I shouldn't vote for it then. Morons. I don't know. Gunther Eagleman said breaking Finland's president publicly congratulates President Trump for pursuing peace. Apparently brought peace, I don't know, to Israel and Hamas. I don't know. We'll see what happens. MAGA Voice said breaking. Donald Trump, oh my God, I can't talk properly, just posted this 1-minute video that perfectly exposes the Democrat Party, who is shutting down the government. Would be a shame if this went viral on X. Every Democrat voter needs to see this. I doubt any would be watching my videos, but anyway.
The party of open borders, transgender for everybody, lawlessness in our streets are shutting down the government in an effort to appease the radical left. These Democrats are coordinating their strategy with outside leftist groups and are demanding nearly $1.5 trillion in spending for an agenda that includes healthcare for illegal aliens and much, Much more. Democrats for years have railed against government shutdowns, claiming a shutdown would mean much chaos and pain and needless heartache for the American people. Democrats are out of control, and you know who it hurts?
You, everyday people, and the most vulnerable. Seniors, veterans, working families, hungry kids, y'all.
Tell Congress to avoid the Democrat-led government shutdown. The Party of Open Borders.
There you go. You always hear a little bit extra with me. Beginning again. Gunther Eagleman said breaking A.G. Halligan has officially brought evidence to a grand jury for an indictment against crooked Letitia James. It's about time. We'll get to see all this, by the way, you know. It's all unfolding exactly how that board said it would. It's funny, that, isn't it? The board you're not allowed on. Watch this. All right? See that little letter of the alphabet right there? It's the 17th letter of the alphabet. See what happens when you try and... Oh, you got to verify first. Hang on. Okay, hang on. It always throws the phishing bullshit out. Okay, you got to verify and then ignore and proceed, okay? And then you get on there. That's how it works. This board, there's a whole lot of information here, guys. There is 4,966 posts in there. And a lot of people don't believe it, but if you read it at the time, if you followed it and you're watching now, you can see exactly, well, not exactly what's happening, of course. No one knows everything. But you can see the lines we're going on. And all hope is not lost yet, okay? Eric Doherty said now President Trump just suggested kicking Spain out of NATO and the Finnish president does not know what to say. Maybe he should throw him out of NATO, frankly. We have one laggard. It was Spain. Spain, you'll have to call them and find why the big... Okay, let Trump say it. I should have just done that in the first place.
And most people thought that was not going to happen, and it happened virtually unanimously. We had one laggard. It was Spain. Spain. You have to call them and find why are they a laggard. And they're doing well, too. You know, the funny thing, because of a lot of the things we've done, they're doing fine. They have no excuse not to do this, but that's all right. Maybe you should throw them out of NATO, frankly.
Yeah, just leave NATO. Hey, Ego Shredder. Hey, Randy. Hey, MRH, how you doing? Good to see you guys. Just going through the chat to make sure I say hello to everyone. Oh, God love you. Okay, what was that? Let me have a look. Deb said, hello, Mr. Smiggles and Miss Bella. So glad to have Hev and the Hevites back together again. Much love to all. God love you, Deb. Okay, who else did I miss anyone? Oh, Susan. How you going, Susan? Kirsten, how you going? Good to see ya. Stu. Okay, just making sure. Okay. I think I've got everyone. God love you, Deb. Okay, so that was Trump. I don't know. I don't think NATO should be a thing. I don't know. Maybe it should, but in a different way. Not the way it is right now because it's so corrupt. It's ridiculous. Wide Awake Media said, does anyone else find it odd that $200 billion is spent on cancer research every single year and the only thing to show for it is a 75% increase in cancer deaths since the 1990s? Kind of seems like a lot of people are getting rich off this cancer research thing. That's why I get people, hey Stuart, how you going? I get people in shopping centres stopping me to ask if I want to buy, donate for cancer research. And I give them a red pill. I said they've got the cure. They don't want to release it. Okay? That's just me. It's my opinion. It's not like a well-known fact yet, but it will be. Okay? Just letting you know. Wide Awake Media, does anyone else... Oh, I've just read that. Have. But yeah, it's a big industry. They make more money off it. That's why. Okay. How does pharmaceutical companies and like the doctors and hospitals, the way they're set up now, how do they all make money if everyone is healthy? They're not there to make people healthy. The only one that I know of that is trying to do that is Timmy. Okay. Susan said, have any word from YouTube about your old channel? Just wondering, the Patriot Hour and a few others are back up, popping on. Oh, God love you, Stu. Okay. He said, ain't you happy that we're all together at the bow? God love you. Susan, I have not had any word about my original channel coming back. I would like it back, but I don't know. Okay, so we're going to have to wait and see. Libs of TikTok said Liz Katzer, a teacher in PHL schools in PA, allegedly made a post online saying that anyone who isn't part of Antifa is a Nazi. She also wants to impeach Trump. This person is teaching your children. For God's sake, homeschool. Homeschool your kids. Or get to know your kids' teachers very well before letting them teach your children. And we know, this is 2 hours ago, President Trump said the hostages will return Monday or Tuesday and he hopes to be there to welcome them. Okay? I think I just said what he said, so I won't play it again, but, you know. Oh, thank you, Stu. And Deb, God love you, you're legends. JT said, breaking news, the Allen government has grounded its entire Deaker and Forest Fire Management ultralight firefighting fleet just weeks before fire season commences. Kind of sounds like California's Gavin Newsom cutting off all the water hydrants. What do you reckon? This is Victoria and Australia here, right? And the Allen government has grounded its whole DEECA and Forest Fire Management ultralight firefighting fleet. Labor wants to keep this quiet. The G-Wagon and Unimog fleet is off the road due to serious safety concerns, and it's not the first time. Victorians deserve answers on how this occurred. Were they off on 2020 as well? The Premier said Victoria was heading into one of the most dangerous fire seasons for some time, and guess who's being called on to cover? Our CFA volunteers. Labor must explain how many vehicles are impacted and how it plans to keep communities safe from a bushfire with a diminished capacity. Victorians are paying more in tax and receiving less protection. These vehicles are promoted by Labor as world-class firefighting assets and cost $32 million. Now our CFA volunteers are left to do the heavy lifting using outdated equipment following another cut to their budget. The Nationals for Regional Victoria, Victorians Against the Great Forest National Park. Wow. There you go. Well, useless, bloody things the government does. Yeah, normally, let me just test something on Streamlabs. Let me test the widgets because that didn't read it out as far as I know anyway. Let me have a look. It's not reading them. Okay, that was just a test donation. That was not a real one, okay. I'll work on that after. I'll just read them out for now, guys. I'll work on it after I finish the stream. Otherwise, it takes too long for me to do anything technical. The Road Knight said Jacinta Nambajimpa Price, I can say it properly now, here in Australia, asked the ABC boss about a selective reporting when it comes to Aboriginal violence and crime, and she's an Aboriginal, by the way, citing the case not covered by the ABC of a 28-year-old man who raped and impregnated a 13-year-old girl promised to him in a traditional marriage. Okay, I have dozens of cases that have not been reported by the ABC, or if they have, they studiously do not mention the race of the offender, but do, when the victim is Aboriginal. See Part 2 for just a few examples over the last few weeks. Over a couple of weeks last year. I've written to the ABC providing these examples and now receive no answers to my correspondence. Okay, they selectively report. They do not mention the race when it is an Aboriginal person or a Muslim or a black person, but they will if it's a white man, okay, or a white person. They will mention the race then, okay? Yeah. Rob Smith said he's nervous and it shows. Albanese hoped for an untelevised meeting with Trump at the summit. Instead, Trump invited him to a televised Oval Office sit-down. Yes! Go, Trump. Rip him to shreds. Where radical leftists falter in Trump's almighty presence, none have escaped unharmed. Watch this one. He's going to be a quivering mess. He's going to be Trump's little lapdog. He's that scared of him. Yeah. Andrea said on Friday I was being stared at by a man on a train from Stevenage to London Bridge. At London Bridge, he came very close to me, asking me to talk to him and calling me racist for not doing so. I approached station staff and he walked away. When I got on the tube to Waterloo, he saw me and ran to get in my carriage, where he continued to stare at me and then follow me, saying the same things again, but asking me if I wanted to see his wang. At Waterloo, I ran to two police officers. Yeah, it's not funny, but I'm just laughing at what the name I'm trying not to say some rude words. But anyway, at Waterloo, I ran into two police officers who spoke to him, but he ran away. They saw me onto my train home. I'm a 58-year-old woman and I'm not generally afraid, but this is the second time in a month something like this has happened to me on a train near London. Be careful out there, ladies. It isn't really safe for us to be alone. I'd look into making pepper spray. Not telling anyone what to do, but personally, I think that's what I would do. I'd start making my own. Okay, Topher Fields said, pass the popcorn. This train wreck is going to be spectacular. The messier this gets, the better, and I genuinely believe this will end up in lawsuits between the e-Karen here in Australia and X, Meta and Alphabet all at once, with Musk, Vance and even Trump all getting involved. And I don't see it ending well for Julie Inman Grant nor for Albo. Sydney Morning Herald said the Commissioner insists age verification can work despite expert warnings of deep flaws, with just over 2 months until the start of the ban. Of course, it's going to backfire. Everything does. Look at AI. It's not as smart as they think it is. Seriously. Even Grok put up an anime, supposed to be a little girl, but says very adult things. I don't know. Be careful. Old Soldier said, so 6 people, 2 women and 4 children were in Syria, wives and children of ISIS fighters. They wanted out. They smuggled themselves to Lebanon, applied for citizenship by descent for 2 children, applied for passports, flew here and were met at the airport, escorted to housing, no doubt immediately granted welfare. And our Prime Minister and our government says they received no assistance. How the hell did they get here? If they received no assistance, they shouldn't have got housing or welfare, or being met at the airport, or being approved for a passport. Interesting, isn't it? This I agree with. The opinionated black woman auntie said, look, it's not all Jews, it's not all Muslims, it's not all Africans, it's not all whites, it's not all blacks, it's not all Asians. There are good people, then there's the forked people, right? And the good people if the good people banded together, the forked people would be well and truly forked. They wouldn't stand a chance. Okay? So us good people need to band together and the bad people would just be forked. Okay? It's that easy. Senator Alex Antic said hackers claim to have stolen 1.5 terabytes of data from Discord, including over 2.1 million government-issued identification photos used for age verification. That's why you don't do it. But don't worry, I'm sure this won't happen when you need to verify your age to use social media in December. I'd rather jump off social media if that's what they're going to do. Malcolm Roberts said, in my experience, this is accurate. Christine sent it as I'm waiting now to ask questions in Senate estimate hearings. Yesterday's hearings were disgraceful. I've been listening to some of these hearings. They are disgraceful. I had questions for 7 departments and agencies, yet we only covered 1. The destruction of our grid continues in secrecy. Our government is backwards. We are private. The government should know nothing about us. They are public servants. We should know everything about them, and that goes for every country. We are private citizens. They are public service. and public servants. We should know everything about them, but not them about us. Thank you very much. Melinda Richards said, Dear Donald Trump. Now, Melinda Richards is an Australian, okay? Can you please meet the Prime Minister of Australia, Anthony Albanese, in the Oval Office on a live televised feed? I believe he is. Topics could include net zero and climate change, recognition of a Palestinian state, the censorship of Australian citizens, and the Australian ambassador to the US insulting you and keeping his job. That should just about cover it for now. Thank you very much. Lozzie said, breaking Australia, the new focus of the AFP, the Australian Federal Police. UK styling police. Barrett, who is the first woman ever to lead the AFP, oh dear God, she's a DEI, said her leadership will be characterised by a focus on social cohesion. If you're the Australian Federal Police, aren't you supposed to be about law? We are seeing groups and individuals who are looking to cause harm to our social cohesion and are looking to espouse hatred because of race or religion, she said. What about against white people or Christians? In August, thousands of Australians participated in anti-migration protests on the streets of Sydney and Melbourne, including neo-Nazi groups. That's why they were there, to make sure the government had something to bang on about neo-Nazi groups. Australian anti-Semitism and Islamophobia envoys have reported 5-fold increases in discrimination and violence against Jewish and Muslim communities, respectively. Does anyone want to tell her? They're going to fight each other. Hello? I mean, Islam does not like Jewish. Jewish does not like Islam. Hello? You're going to have anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. Now, how have the Muslims terrorising our communities and calling for jihad against Australians been portrayed as the victim? What the fuck? Islamophobia is not a phobia, it's a real and justified fear. Islamophobia is a word used by Muslims when people call out or speak about their actions and behaviours. We have every right to express our genuine concerns and fears, and we will continue to do so. They're on notice. New AFP boss warning to Australia's adversaries. Quite a handsome woman there. Woman? I don't know. Okay. I'm just going to keep saying I don't know because these people don't look normal to me. I don't know. Senator Babbitt said, did you think you'll own nothing and be happy was hyperbole? It's not. Think about it. The next generation won't own homes. They'll rent forever. You don't own your car. You'll lease it. You don't own the movies or music you consume. You'll rent access through subscriptions. You don't own your money. It's digital credit that can vanish with a policy change. You don't own your phone. You're on a contract. You don't own your software. It's all cloud-based, licensed, never yours. You don't own your social media accounts. One algorithmic strike and you're gone. You don't even own your privacy. It's traded for convenience and free services. You don't own anything and you are happy. Ownership was once freedom. Now almost everything is a subscription, including your life. They own you. Do you understand? Yeah. I do understand. I'm on subscriptions for Streamlabs and StreamYards. I understand. Why can't you just pay for something like it used to be once? Do you remember, does anyone remember when you bought Office 2007, Microsoft Office 2007? Do you remember? You owned it. I've still got it. From 2007. Okay, Elon Musk said protesting attempted rape is punished more than attempted rape in Britain. Peter Lloyd said 3 epping protesters have been jailed getting longer sentences than the migrant who sparked the disorder by assaulting a girl of 14 years old. Martin Pegram, Dean Smith and Stuart William will serve 2 years each for protesting against this guy who attacked a young 14-year-old girl. Illegal migrant Hadush Kabuta got just 12 months. Just so you know how bad things can really get. Okay? And for Lozzie B, for those here in Australia, MyGov Australia's been hacked. Yep. And the Labor government want us all to sign up for a digital ID and trust them with all our sensitive personal information. No way, mate. Anyway, I think that was yesterday's news, but I'll just want to say that again because we did talk about, digital ID and all that. So there we go. Okay, I am going to go back as far as I can in the chat and have a chat. And Timmy may be busy, but we will catch up again and we will do a call-in. I want to know everyone's thoughts on Charlie Kirk, so get your thoughts together because all of you guys you can ring into. I have to be on Stream Yards though, okay? Not Streamlabs. I'm on Streamlabs at the moment. So we'll see how we go. Let me put this back over here and then you can see. Oh, can I make it smaller? There you go. Just cover up, some of the data just in case. I don't know. Okay, I've gone back as far as I can. Alex said, I just got home. I need to sort a few things out and I'll be in the chat ASAP. Is this where I had no sound? Yeah, Kingdom, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. World Economic Forum, exactly. Yes, out to lunch. You have to watch an ad to open your refrigerator door. Deb said, know who really runs the world. Yes. Ego Shredder said, Deb, hello, my lovely. How are you? George said the WEF can do one. Yes, they can. They can go jump, mate. Yeah, there is, Kingdom. There's so many of these cases lately. There really is. It's crazy. Okay, I'll go from Alex. Since I can't go back any further in the chat, I'll say hello to everyone from here. Out to lunch, Donna, Randy, Virginia, Kingdom, Sherry, Ego Shredder, George, Maria, and Bazza, and J1. How are you guys going? Kingdom said, in America, if you're black, it's like free pass for crime. Lols is messed up. It's the same here in Australia. It doesn't matter whether they're Australian Aboriginals or Sudanese people who've come here or Indian or Muslim. They get away with things. Yeah, Kingdom said 500,000 killed in Nigeria. Kai said, that's better. Hey, guys. Hey, going, Kai. Yeah, by ISIS. Yeah, exactly. Alex said, still listening. Ego Shredder said, Alex, hey, good to see ya. Kingdom said, I watched a whole docu on Boko Haram. There you go. Yeah, that's the group. Yep. Or Boko Haram. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But anyway, I won't worry about pronunciation right now. I'm hopeless at that. George said, Christians are being murdered all over the world. They are. Yeah, they are. And Randy said, hi, Deb. Out to lunch. Said, no killing unless God says you can, I guess. Alex said, everything is just a massive rip-off now, keeping the rich rich and the poor even poorer. Sad times it is. Sad times we live in. Yeah, Kingdom, Christ is king. He said, know when to sell your fine robes and buy a sword. Christ was no wimp. No, he wasn't. And Jesus turned tables on the bankers. He threw, pretty much picked the table up and nearly threw it at them. Okay, yeah, so there's no, turn the other cheek is more like something, if something is just said to you, like you're insulted or whatever, just turn the other cheek on that, right? But for this shit, no. No, you don't turn the other cheek. No. No. Kingdom said, God is no wimp. Yep, exactly. Deb said they have reduced our family units so they can bring in population dilution. Yep. Deb said, Jewish stockade, we are chattel. We are to all of them, I think. George said, it's all for droopy drawers. Deb's laughing at me. Randy said, sheeple. Out to lunch said, drop your drawer. What? And hey, MRH, good to see ya. Out to lunch said, sheep with a heart of lions. Kingdom said, all the godless and those who follow false gods are part of the problem, Deb. The Jewish folks are just part of it, and it ain't all of them. No, exactly. I don't believe it's all of any, There are good and bad people in all. Deb said, your eyes and heart hurts to learn truth. Yeah, it does. But we got to know, we've got to understand what we're up against here. Otherwise, they just take over. Kingdom said, but the extremist ones are as bad as any other. Yep. Ego Shredder said, digital ID in the wrong hands makes it possible for them to create a clone of us. Randy said, they already clone us? Ego Shredder said, not a clone with our spirit, of course, but an identity clone. Yeah, I think they do that already. Yeah, Kingdom said they could, Randy, with all the genetic info they have. Oh, definitely. George said, I'll not be complying with this digital ID. Kingdom said the feds have mine. Deb said celebrity have multiple clones. Out to lunch said regular computers use zeros and ones, but quantum computers use a space in between 0 and 1. That's what I think is how it goes, right? I don't know, out to lunch. Yeah, Kingdom said, yes, you're correct. That's what it is. It can also be 0 and 1 at the same time, etc. Wow. Randy said only knows on and off, 0 or 1. Kingdom said it's like D-Wave, etc. Oh, okay. Out to lunch said also the regular zeros and ones. Kingdom said, yeah, I know what quantum computing is, very familiarised. Good. Randy said, computer only as smart as programmers. Kingdom said, which is why all of AI is evil. Yeah, I don't agree with it either. George said, the less I'm online, the better for my mental health. Oh, definitely. You've got to get out and touch grass. If you don't have grass where you are, you need to go and look at some and sit on some and, rub some with your hands or something. I don't know. Just get out in the... You need green around you. I know that because I lived in concrete jungles for a long time. And, yeah, you need the greenery around you. Deb said, fuck's sake, an art degree. Yeah, Julie Inman Grant, her qualifications for being a Karen is an arts degree. Randy said computer to dumb us down. Yeah, but it worked against them, Randy, I believe. We found out all sorts of things. Kingdom said, did you see all the tests where the LLMs will go as far as blackmail or murder 90+% of the time? I haven't seen that when tested. Wow. Ego Shredder said, Alex, I received my smartwatch the other day, worn it twice while sleeping, so I got a bit of data back from it. It matches what I had suspected and also what my sister has complained about me. Oh, wow. Kingdom said, LLMs used to dumb down the young for sure. Oh, yeah, definitely, yep. And social media does it in a way, except hopefully it's turning now. George said the mainstream media won't talk about Nigerian Christians being murdered. Randy said smartwatches are harmful. Kingdom said sad, George. Ego said, Randy, yeah, make sure to not share anything sensitive with it. Kingdom said, I don't want anyone, men, women and children being slaughtered. That's how I feel, Kingdom. I don't want anyone hurt, but, if they can just stop fighting over there. Deb said never-ending crusades, yeah. George said ex-Muslims woke up. Yes, I've seen a lot of it. Randy said it knows all. Kingdom said Muslims follow Allah, a.k.a. Hubble, a.k.a. Baal, a.k.a. Say. That's what I've heard. Always have, yep. Out to lunch said make sure to check to see if smartwatch doesn't have the plastic forever chemical banned. Kingdom said, I don't do smartwatch, no, I wouldn't either. Out to lunch said leather or metal to be safe. Kingdom said, I do good old automatic movement watch. Yeah, I like the old ones with hands, not even digital watches. I want one with hands. George said, I don't like wearing a watch. No, I don't wear one. I haven't worn one for years. Ego Shredder said, out to lunch. It's got a silicone strap, which I prefer. Deb said, yes, very convenient, George, but alien mothership is coming in. Is that the comment thing that's coming? Ego Shredder said, out to lunch. I got fed up with having to replace leather straps so often as they're not well made. Nothing is. Do you know when I was packing, packing tape, right, that you used to seal the boxes? Okay? I kept on tearing little strips. It was supposed to be one wide piece of tape, and it wouldn't freaking peel that way. It kept, dividing in half or 3 or just having a really small strip of tape. It's like, can you not make anything how you used to? I miss everything we used to have. I miss buying a computer software and having it for yourself, not having to update and pay every month. Like with Streamlabs and StreamYard, I'd like to pay once for it and own it, The right to multi-stream or whatever the bloody hell I'm doing. I just really want things the way that, even elastic that is in your clothing these days, okay? It is not well made. I buy elastic to replace, because I'm that bad that I will replace elastic in pants rather than buy a new pair of pants, okay? Now, within like a couple of months, that elastic's gone too. It's stretched. What good is that? Anything sticky you get doesn't stick properly. Cars with all the bells and whistles, and now they're charging you for it. And I hate the beeps in the cars. Everyone knows that. Everyone who listens to me knows that, and I'll say it again. We used to learn the hard way. If you left your lights on, you learned the hard way, never to do that again because your battery was flat the next day. If you left your windows down, you'd learn not to do that the next day if it rained or snowed or whatever, you know. Same as if you leave your keys in the car. You'll learn to do that after your car gets stolen and they won't pay you out. I don't know. I don't know if they would or not, but just assuming they wouldn't if you left your keys in the car and your car got stolen, they probably wouldn't pay your insurance out. I don't know. Okay. J1 said Albo in the elf ears. Deb said are we watching OnlyFans? I don't know what those people were doing. Yeah, I don't know. It might have just been a TikTok video, but I don't know. Yeah, they shouldn't video it. I don't know. They should just keep that at home behind closed doors, I believe, personally. Just me. Out to Lunch said, are they trying to appeal to some people lizard? Yeah, that's what I thought. He had a scale costume on or something. George said magic mushrooms. Oh, yeah. Yep. Out to Lunch said lizard or elf. Sherry said asylums will be packed if they open them back up. They will. They need to. The way we're going, they really need to. Deb said, yes, George, and Out to Lunch. George said, this lefties are bloody crazy people. They are, aren't they? Out to Lunch said, is that the dude that was there screaming at California is falling into the ocean? I have no idea. Kirsten said, the bloodlines transgender their own from birth. Look at centuries past photos. I've always thought, why did all the women back then look ugly, hard lines? Now I know they're all men. I look at that too, Kirsten. When you see some of these people and some of these queens and all princesses and that, you go, are they really? If you tried to pick the ugliest person in the world, I don't even think they'd compare to those people's. They're ugly. Very handsome women there. Kirsten said, hi, Hev. Glad to see you again. Hope you're well, hun. You too, Kirsten. It's good to see you too. Randy said, global warming. George said, I just got a message you are live, Hev. Lol. Yeah. Yeah, if you don't look out for me, they won't tell you until we're most of the way through the stream. Out to Lunch said, Newscombe probably gave him a job. Probably. Out to Lunch said, hey, George, Hev is live. Yeah, you're already watching it, but hey, here you go. Here's a notification. Oh, George said, hi, Kirsten. Kingdom said, I'm going to go eat. Catch you all later. God bless you too, Kingdom. Have a good one. George said, my phone is a cheap phone. Out to Lunch. Out to Lunch said, if there is legal weather modification, then shut up about climate change. Yes, exactly. Yeah, George said, take care, Kingdom. Out to Lunch said, how do we know if it's wood heating my house or weather modification? Yeah. Kirsten said, yes, Amal is transgender. They all are. I went and studied the male and female anatomy, so familiar with it. Yeah. Stu said, one night while travelling sheep, my companions lay asleep. There was no light to illuminate the sky. I was dreaming, I suppose, with my eyes partly closed. No, with my partly closed. I think it's meant to be with my eyes partly closed, when a very strange profession passed me by. It sounds familiar, but I can't place the music to it. Sorry, Stu. Kirsten said, Amal is transgender. All the stars, politicians, their wives are. I went and dived into the male and female anatomy. Now I can spot them immediately. Well done, Kirsten. Yeah, I remember Mary 40. Used to be on YouTube. She got driven off YouTube. She was an Aussie girl. And she used to call them out. That was years ago, like 10 years ago or more. Out to Lunch said, could FEMA camps be for illegal and Antifa? I hope so. George said, yeah, Hev, yep, 5x5, good. That's when I asked if you could hear me. Out to Lunch said, Hev is her own IT. Yes, I have to be. I'm the only one here doing this on my own, so I have to be. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better stream. With no fuck-ups. Oh, no. George says Starmer's a traitor to the British P. He sure is. So is Albanese, our stupid Prime Minister. They all are. And Carney and bloody, what was his name before that? Trudeau. Stu said Canada, South Africa, Ireland, Scotland, Australia, New Zealand, along with all the US or Western world. You little ripper. We will have unity with a bunch of different accents. Oh, yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, Deb, I'll become my own IT department. Deb said it's too hard to be on both. Out to lunch said Hev will be doing some coding or making AI videos. Oh, I wish. No, I don't like AI. I don't like AI videos. They're really starting to pee me off, I can tell, because they don't pronounce things properly. So I can tell as soon as they say a certain word and I'm like, oh, this is fucking AI. Sorry. Shouldn't swear, but you know it is. Deb said, it's like you say, they're letting in the criminals. Yet they haven't sent their best from their countries. They're emptying out their asylums and their prisons into our countries. It makes them look good. George said, this pro-Palestinians are morons. Yeah, I know, especially the transgender ones. I'd like to see them go up and go over to Palestine and see what happens to them. J1 said Optus failures killed half a dozen Aussies when they put the price up. There you go. Deb said, Shannon is very late. He's probably not being told. And then if he is, he's probably thinking, oh, she's fucked up in the last couple of days. Maybe I'll wait until she's finished. No, I'm kidding. Ego Shredder said, if Hev starts talking about bash script and network layers, then you know she's up to her neck in IT troubles. Oh, God, no, don't ever let me talk about that. I don't even want to know what it is. Hopefully I'll never have to find out. Ego Shredder. Out to lunch said, Hev trying to fix something. Ask herself if it was plugged in and try unplugging it. Yes, that's what I just did with my mic. Deb said, hello, Mr. Smiggles and Miss Bella. George said, late fee for Shannon, lol. Stu said, g'day, Jay. Susan said, I believe that Judgment Day is coming soon. I believe that too. Alex said, I'm back. Deb said, who owns Optus? You depopulation, I think. J1 said, g'day, Stu. How is your mate? George said, hi, Susan. Welcome back, Alex. Okay, Stu said, can't complain. Message retracted by out to lunch. Deb said, nothing new under the sun. Yeah, no, it isn't. Susan said, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. I only see 17 people. Oh, that's cute, lol. Yeah, 17. Yeah. George said, if I was American, I would vote for the Republicans, definitely. Stu said, bumped her up to 20. Out to lunch said, future proves past. Ego Shredder said, I clicked as well. Alex said, sorry if I missed anyone. Stu said, I know nothing. And God love you, Deb. Alex said, I hope your new watch helps you to sleep better. Why has your sister complained about you? I've had horrible nightmares this week, but sleeping better, if that makes sense. I had a good night's sleep last night. It was the night before I had trouble. Like, it was windy. Windy. And the window in my bedroom rattles, right? And so does my bedroom door. Like, it's not sitting flush in there. It actually, even when it's closed with latched, it still makes noise because it just sits there and rattles. So I've been trying to repair that so I can get a good night's sleep, and I actually did last night. So, yeah, I hope you get a bit better sleep with that Ego Shredder. Ego Shredder said, normally when I hear that little chime sound, I think, hey, Timmy's in the house. God love you. Yeah, I just got, what did I get? Was that a message? Oh, yeah, Deb sent me something. But I can't get it up on here. It's on my phone. Out to lunch said, yep, or Shannon. Stuart, how you going? Said, I'm in. Alex said, awesome, Deb. I've got to get I've also got to set up Streamlabs to get the chat on there so I don't have to show the YouTube chat. And the other day, Me Too's made some really funny comments and I forgot to read them. He really did. On the other, on Rumble. Because I've got Rumble going too. Sorry, I got a cough again. Tickle. tickle in the throat. Yeah, Dr. Timmer is a big supporter of Hev. Oh, God, give me a sec. Okay, just had a coughing fit. I'm talking too much. That is the problem. Okay. And Susan said, any word on the old YouTube channel? Yeah. I haven't heard anything yet. Alex said, I'll never be complying with digital ID either. I'd rather go and live in the woods with my cats than be a part of the corrupt system. Me too. Out to lunch said, no money in a cure, we all know. And hello, Stuart. I thought I said hello to you before. I'm not sure. Deb said, I give people selling charity no thanks because it's your wages. Well, yeah, that too. Who are these people paid by? Stu said, and we'll all be wearing different faces. Nobody wants to hide. Love is all at the butterfly ball. George said, a lot of charities are a scam. They are. Alex said, yes, my sister's involved with my nephew's school. She refused having him any jabs. I think he was probably the only one that didn't, or one of the very few that didn't. People are so brainwashed they are these days. Deb said, if you donate to Streamlab, it reads your message. Super Chat puts up a message. Oh, okay. Yeah, but even when I tested the widget, it wouldn't read it. Hang on. Test the widget and say I get a tip, not a super chat or anything, a tip. No, it should read that out. Okay, I'll have to work on that. That's not a real donation either, just a test. Stuart said, Alex just in from the pub again. Alex said, agreed, you just have to see how much the CEOs of charity are paid, and they don't pay tax either, George. George said, yeah, I know, Alex. Stu said, my cat punched on with a tiger snake 1 metre from the window. She's as mad as Maxie. I've watched quite a few videos on cats and snakes, and cats are actually quicker than snakes. There you go. Alex said, no worries, I was late too. Had to get a few things done, Stuart. Hopefully it's just a click of the button for the robot voice on Streamlabs. I think it is. I've got to go onto the website to get it activated properly, though. Deb said you can't enter any childcare, kindy or school without multiple jabs. Oh, yeah, I could imagine. Stu said Max was beyond amazed. He's obsessed with hunting too. That's 3 of us mad as cut snakes. George said Trump can see the BS going on in the world. Yeah, he can. Deb said we should make a charity that have supporting. We don't have to be accountable. No taxes. No taxes joke, folks. Yeah. I will be the charity. It's to have charity. Oh, dear. And then I don't have to pay taxes. There you go. Alex said, that's so sad, Deb. I would never send my children to any daycare, school if I had children. They are the most precious things, and most people let them be brought up by strangers. That's the problem. Even my little granddaughter did not go to daycare or childcare. Kirsten said, we need to follow Italy. Stop work, stop paying taxes, stop shopping, let the cabal, corp government collapse. Otherwise, we're paying them to keep this shit show going, and more deaths, more immigration, etc. I agree. Deb said, I got asked if I wanted to see puppies. Oh. Alex said, who ended up indoctrinating those children to not listen to their parents, Deb? Stu said, I'm up for adoption, Alex. There you go, Shredder said, Deb, males are not allowed in schools unless they're wearing a dress and fake boobs. Then a storybook is thrust in their hand and told to educate the children. J1 said, Deb, soon they won't let you take your kids home from the daycare because you don't have multiple jabs. Yeah. Deb said, Stormy's daughter's being refused cancer treatment because she'll not take the jab. Oh, no way. That's disgusting. Alex said, that's not too hard to believe. They already take children away, sometimes for no good reason. Yes, they do that a lot. George said they're brainwashing kids from a young age. Alex said, I agree. Some people should never have children, but some children are taken away and forced into adoption. Yeah. Deb said it's the one behind the front people being used as camouflage. J1 said, Alex, to be sure they would have done it last time if they could have drawn to the scam out long enough. Alex said, yes, very sad. I saw a video ages ago who went to school to pick up his son early and they had the boy in a dress, George. I saw that too, Alex. George said, Labor does not serve the British people. They are tyrants. Deb said, I'm ready for no social media. I have lots to do without it. Yeah, I agree. Stu said, yes, after military, I officially serve you guys. Oh, God love you. George said, I've seen that video too, Alex. Deb said, colour hair cops. Alex said, yeah, some people are still wearing masks on their own in their cars, though. So far gone. Deb said, yes, all sides are paid for. George said, Islam does not like anyone. Stu said, oh, I can't take another heartache. Though you say you're my friend, I'm at my wit's end. You say your love is bona fide, but that don't coincide with the things that you do and when I asked you to be nice. I know that's a song. I can't think of it either. Deb said, Jews are the same. Ego Shredder said, all Abrahamic religions have a lot in common. Alex said, that's a handsome woman, Hev. Deb said, they don't play well with others. George said, oh, where is it? Oh, my God. I was way back. Oh, my goodness. I was way back in the chat. Oh, you say you got to be cruel to be kind in the right measure. I know that song. George said, I don't see Jews causing trouble in the UK. Deb said they don't play well with others. Deb said, I got a sewing machine for my birthday, blast from the past, getting a refresher course in sewing. Oh, that would be excellent, Deb. Ego Shredder said, Alex, weak attempt to evade speed camera identification, perhaps. Stu said, we got a sewing kit in the Navy called Housemaid. Alex said, the pedos are being protected by the pedos. The whole system's backwards. Yes, definitely. J1 said, new blockchain payments will only be charged when you're actually using the service. Micro payments by the second. Wages will be paid the same way, all crypto. Stu said, Jay, you're all over it and have been for Yonks, mate. Yonks. George said, Charlie Kirk was murdered unless he went to Narnia. Yonks. I thought you meant yonks. Yeah, because that's normally something you say in Australia. Jay, you're all over it and have been for yonks, mate. And yonks means a long time, okay? Oh, Mac J, hey, you going? Good to see you. You're listening and cooking. Oh, I love doing that. Alex said, yeah, could be. They soon didn't want people wearing masks in shops when people started robbing them. Yes, exactly. I mean, imagine that. Imagine going to the bank with a mask on. Service day, you're not supposed to have a helmet on, let alone a mask. That's what I want to know. Oh, Deb asked what you're cooking, MJ. Mac J. Stu said, you do a smashing job with pronunciation, ma'am. Thank you. I think I'm hopeless, but that's okay. J1 said a crypto like IOTA will run machine-to-machine payments like the Toyota, no monthly subscriptions. J1 said your fridge will pay its own electricity bill. Yeah, that's how our Prime Minister speaks. Electricity. Stu said, yep, I can be both good and bad in one day. Try my heart out, always to be good. Yep. J1 said Internet of Things plus the Internet of Value all run on AI. Yeah, AI can go and suck a sav, mate, seriously. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, it's another Australian saying, suck a battered sav, which is, I think, is a sausage wrapped in batter. Am I right, guys? I don't know, I can't remember. Oh, Stu said, if you can't be good, better be good at it. Hey, Stu said, there's snakes everywhere here and I love it. Oh, I don't know. I think I'd try and kill one if I seen it. Then it'd probably bite me and then I'd be in trouble. Ego Shredder said, I'm visiting my sister to cut a lawn. Does that count as getting out into the greenery? Yes, it does. Stu said, got to the point I can't leave my door open on a sunny day. Oh, yeah, snakes will crawl in. Don't do that. That's why we have screen doors and screens on our windows here in Australia, because if you... And you need the house open when it's hot, and I'm telling you, it's really hot here where I am. I don't like it so much. But anyway, hey, beggars can't be choosers now, can we? And it's quite nice, actually. Like, I do like the warmth, but I just don't like the overnight warmth where I'm sweating to death all night long. Okay. Alex said, Christians have always been persecuted. George said, yeah, Alex. Stu said, I recall once no one believed me, so I came back inside after a minute with 2 3-foot tigers. Oh, my God, tiger snakes. Stu said the look on their faces was priceless. Stu said, I'll never forget the feeling of one's tongue licking the inside of my nostril. Oh, no, thank you, Stu. No. Ooh, I'd be freaking out, right out. Like, the thing would bite me because I'd be freaking out so hard, okay? There you go. Shredder said the stickiest known substance to humankind is tax. Yeah, I agree with that one. Alex said everything is cheap and breakable. They've turned people into consumers and then blame people for it. Yeah, forget to blame the companies that make it in the first place. George said things were made to last back in the day. They used to be. George said I'm getting old, lol. Alex said things used to be built to last and so beautiful that people put so much attention and detail in, like 100-year-old oak furniture, for example, so stunning and still good today. Exactly. And worth a bloody fortune, because no one makes good shit anymore. Alex said no flat pack shite that breaks in a week. I know. Stu said the drover's dream, Hev. Oh, I'd have to refresh, Stu. Thank you. Alex said, I know what you mean. Time is flying by, George. I can't believe it's October already. I know. That's another thing. Time's going way too quick. Kirsten said, does anyone recall the 60s, 70s? You'd have visitors, and as they were about to leave, the women would take the stroll in the garden, collecting cuttings to take home. Well, I've started a garden with this. Nice. Mrs. Out to Lunch, how you going? Cooking, but jumped on to give a thumbs up. Love you all. Oh, God, love you, Mrs. Out to Lunch. George said, 58 years old next month, Alex. Out to Lunch said, oh, my love. Alex said, that's amazing, Kirsten. Yep. Stu said, 58 next year here, George. Out to Lunch said, 21 with 37 years experience. I like that. I like that way of putting it. I'm 21 with 34 years of experience. Yeah. Okay, Kirsten said intention, getting your hands in the dirt, grounding, and the pleasure of someone else enjoying your little plot, maybe inspiring them too. Well, I'm just about to set up gardens here. I can grow food here because it's warmer. It's much warmer. The food's going to grow like crazy, so I've got to go and get some soil. Out to Lunch said, yeah, Donna's planted her lettuce. Oh, beautiful. Alex said, I still feel 16 in my head. Yeah, so do I sometimes, most of the time. Probably stuck there. I don't know. Deb said, Fred loves Donna and Donna loves Fred. Out to Lunch said, have you gotten over the altitude change, lol? Yes, I'm about 700 metres down the mountain, and it's much warmer. And I mean, like, for being only 45 minutes away from where I was, or 48 minutes, drive, there is a 10-degree increase. Okay? So while it would still be cool up there, it is boiling here. Well, not boiling, it's hot. To me, it is. Alex said, it would be lovely to go back to those days, such simpler times. I miss those days. Mac J said, I don't like AI videos, people creating clones, letting the clone run the video. I refuse to watch. Me too. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. AI is just... Well, it's censoring me at the moment on YouTube, so I don't like it. Kirsten said, thank you, Alex. Deb said, yes, I've been trying to send by Streamlab. Oh, have you? Oh, God love you, Deb. Deb said, we love our Dr. Timmy. Timmy said, I want a funny man. You want the funny man to dirty talk, because you know I won't say it. Yep. George said, Mac J, when I hear of AI voice, I switch off. Yeah, I think a lot of us are the same. Out to Lunch said, is it your body telling you to shut up? Yes, the coughing is my body telling me to shut up. You talk too much, woman. Shh. That's what it's saying to me. Because I don't talk this much normally. Yeah, so when I talk a whole lot for an hour and 40 minutes, then I'm starting to get tickle in the throat. And yeah. Ruff said, I'm a 64-year-old man, yet I feel like an attractive 40-year-old woman. Maybe two of them. Good on you, Ruff. That's the Aussie humour. Alex said, our lovely Timmy, I hope he's okay. Yeah, he should be okay. He said, we'll catch up because I had to message him yesterday and say, I'm sorry, I had to cancel, postpone the stream. He said, that's all right, we'll work it out, we normally do. Out to lunch said, I'm not busy, I think I can find one to call. Kirsten's laughing at Ruff. She gets it. Stu said, Ruff, you're only as old as the woman you're feeling, mate. Oh, no, shh. I'm not going to read them. What happened there? Deb said, non-donation test run. Deb said, hello, Ruff. Deb said, no, Hev, the block was trying to abduct my sister and myself. What? Alex said, well said, Kirsten, we end up paying for our own demise. Alex said, the irony is the jab would probably finish her off. I hope Stormy's daughter manages to find a natural way to heal, Deb. Yep. Alex said, I've been stepping back a lot from social media, just so depressing. I get it. I do. But I still think we're watching a movie because it's just being exposed. That's what I think is happening. It's all being exposed. So don't panic because it will be okay, I promise you. If it's not, come find me. No, I'm kidding. But you can. I mean, hunt me down. No, I'm kidding. Alex said, I hardly go on it anyway, but even less these days. Kirsten said, Deb, same for our pets. No doggy daycare for my puppy because I'm not going to vax him. The vets are so brainwashed, just like medical doctors. I agree. Out to lunch said, Hev is saying, we talk too much. No, it's me. It's not you, it's me. Deb said, I thought I had forgotten. Deb said, God bless our military service people. Yep. Out to lunch said the Jesters, 33 Mason. Alex said, that's so cool. I'd love a sewing machine, make my own clothes, but they'd last if I made them myself. Yeah, exactly. With the good thread count in the cotton and stuff, So that's another thing. I swear, even some of the materials were better. What about tracksuit pants? They used to be, what is it? They used to have thick tracksuit pants. Well, now they're really thin and they're not warm at all, and I don't know what they're doing, but hey, again, that's just me. I think they're making cheap material as well. Out to lunch said judges. Deb said square cookie, Hev. Oh, yeah, I've got to do a square cookie. Mac J said, Hev, do you still have your chickens? No, I don't. Unfortunately, I had to get rid of them because I had to move, which was really sad, but I know who's got them. Someone that I know has got my chickens, so I know they're looked after very, very well. Out to lunch said, wife is cooking potato salad. George said, no, Mac J. No, I haven't got my chickens. Deb said, I'm starting with toys. I'm over the other thing. Yeah, I found them a home, yep. Stu said, I took a 6-foot brown snake into a bank once. Oh, no. I don't like snakes. If I see one, I'm more likely to try and kill the thing or run away very quickly, even though you should stay still. If you see a snake, you're supposed to stand still and let it pass you, okay? Yeah, fuck that. I want to run away really quickly. Deb said snake venom is in lots of beauty products. It's probably why we're getting sicker and sicker. Out to lunch said Stu, 4 inches. Out to lunch said inches that I may have to. Alex said, I saw a video the other day saying that people will soon have to start watching adverts on their smart fridges before they can open them. I'll stick to my old-fashioned fridge, lol. Yes. I don't even like the fridges that beep like they're a truck reversing over you when you leave the door open. That's another thing we used to learn the hard way. If you leave your fridge door open, everything will be warm, and you'll learn not to do that again, man. Like, seriously. I hate new shit. I really do. Stu said feet, but had no feet. Out to lunch said, Deb, there was a claims venom was in the jabs too. Alex said, wow, how scary, Stu. Stu said it was angry. Out to lunch said, made to break. Deb said, I'm over being beggars, can't be choosy. I am no beggar anymore. God love you, Deb. Out to lunch said, Stu, was you robbing the bank? Yeah, with a snake as your weapon. Deb said, Ozempic could be like lizard venom. Yeah. Stu said, Alex, well, shall learn me for catching it and putting it in a bucket. Out to lunch said, Hev is young, bless her. Oh, God love you. Alex said, definitely. I am sure they all made an agreement about the light bulb that they would end up breaking so people would buy more. Yes, that's another thing, right? Light globes used to last a lot longer than they do now since they brought in these light-saving, energy-saving bullshit globes. Another thing I don't like. They're not warm light like they used to be. They're like a stark, horrible light. They're either really, really white. Some things you get now, they've put the yellow light into it so you can, like, you know, have a option to have the bright white light or a yellow light. But my God, nothing compares to the old candlelight globes. You know, the ones they run on, they say this is how many candlelight wattage, whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about. Same as like 100 candles, okay? 100 watt light globe. Anyway. Yeah, I agree, Alex, with the light globe things. They break so easy. I had one explode when I was underneath it, and it didn't even have a light cover on it, so the glass went all over me, all in my hair. You know, tiny shards of glass, and it's really thin glass. Not good. Deb said, become a charity, it's better than robbing a bank. Ruff said, choosers can't be beggars. Deb says, so glad you're finding positive with your move. Oh, yeah, no, it's entertaining. My family is very entertaining, let me tell you. I love it. I love it. It's never a dull moment. Oh, it's funny. And I'm glad it's my family because God knows if I had to share a house with 9 strangers, I don't know how I'd go. So I'm glad it's family. Out to lunch at Hev will have to acclimate to the new place. Yep. Oh, Alex said, I love it when I'm potting plants and get my hands into the soil, always feel energised after. Yes. And Deb said, so glad you're finding positive with your move. I have to, yep. No, it is good. Even though I'm in a really tiny room, it's really good. It's the best thing I think I've done, considering the rent I was paying, yes. Deb said, I got a beauty for the next message for the funny man. Oh, cool. Deb said, yes, when the stars align. Deb said, do you want to see puppies? Was trying to steal children. Oh, someone was trying to say you want to see puppies and then steal the kids. Wow. Deb said, very scary it was. Alex said, I used to have over 20 but can't have that many with the cats now. I'd love a nice bit of land, George. Deb said, it's like we live in the twilight zone. I agree. Stu said, I got your Deb sickness on steroids. Deb said, yeah, the cotton's really shit. I do have some old cotton. That would be the best thing. Because everything used to last. Now they make it so that nothing does. You buy a T-shirt and within like 3 months now, like it's already really thin material, right? And then within 3 months, one of your fingers has gone through it. There's a hole in it somewhere. Okay? You pulled it down too harshly. I don't know. Alex said, we're only supposed to wear natural fibres to energise our bodies. Most things are just made from plastic now, which wipes all that energy out. Yes, like polyester and bullshit I don't like. And it's hotter, I think. Cotton's cooler. Stu said, if I asked Sheila to see her puppies, I'd get a slap in the face. You would, Stu. Yeah, that can also be another slang term for, you know, breasts. George said, I have 6 plants, Alex, and for some reason Lucky loves munching on 2 of them, lol. Deb said, I have friends with bloody big snakes. Yeah, I don't like them. Alex said, what did the bank say? Call that a snake? It's your wobbly rifle hissing away, Stu. Deb said, I love that ad. The fridge will back over you. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like beeping fridges. Where am I up to? Somewhere here. Deb said, add disposable world, make money. Yeah. Alex said, that's cool, just as long as they are not any lily variety. Cats do not like plants, and they think are good sometimes for digestion. Stu said, Alex, I did a joke with them, and I said, stand and deliver, but my mate who worked there was another nut job. Kirsten said, Stu, quit bragging, mate. Alex said, Stu, I'd love to see the CCTV for that one. Deb said, thanks, Stu. Shannon not here. Out to lunch said, mercury vapour bulbs are hazardous waste, you know. I know, and well, one broke over the top of me. And it went all through my hair. And it went everywhere. Out to lunch said, I sound happier. Yeah, because I'm laughing a lot here, because it's funny. People are funny. I've been alone so long that people are now funny. Yeah, I'm less stressed. I'm not worried about bloody, the next electricity bill or water bill or anything like that. It's all good now. Yeah. Yeah, it is lovely having the family with me. Like, there's 9 of us in a 6-bedroom house, and it's pretty cool, actually. Out to lunch said, true that, Alex. Out to lunch said, especially if you get along. Yes, well, we do. Out to lunch said, Hev is less stressed. Yeah, 4 generations worth. Yes, exactly, in the one house. It's amazing. We have my parents, me, my daughter, and my grandchildren. So, yeah, we have 4 generations in one house. It is fantastic. Never a dull moment, like I said, And great to cook, because I get to cook for everybody. When I was on my own, I'd cook all this food and there's no one there to eat it. What fun is that? It's not fun. Okay, it's like, okay, now break it up and store it in the freezer. Now, you cook food. I can cook a full thing of donuts and they're all gone. Like, that's not real healthy, but I can cook a whole big plate of donuts and there's like 24 of them and they'll be gone. Like that. Okay, how far back do I need to go now? Deb said we had to go to the police station. I only live in Adelaide. Look up the evil in Adelaide for stolen kids. Oh, I have, Deb. Yeah, I have heard about that. South Australia's bad for it. Alex said, lucky helping you prune, George. Deb said, so true, life can change when we get out of our comfort zone. Yep. Alex said, it's lovely to hear you so happy. Yes, out to lunch said, this too shall pass, though. Yeah, Deb, Brady Bunch. It's like that, only better. Very different and very better. Stu said, the Pointer Sisters, jump for my love, jump in. George said, yeah, Alex. Out to lunch said, too many cooks in the kitchen. Oh, it can be. The kitchen seems to be a meeting place. Once one person goes in there, it's like a call goes out to the rest of the household and everyone ends up in there. If you ever want to have a meeting, go to the kitchen. Okay? Kirsten said, oh, Stu, you're on a roll, mate. Out to lunch, so they probably love your cooking. Oh, they do. They said my donuts were fantastic. Alex said, is that the one with Jim Bob and Sue Ellen, the Night John boy? No, that's not the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch is Cindy, Jan and Marsha and Bobby, Peter and Greg, Mike and what's her name? I can't remember her name, Mrs. Brady, and Alice, the maid, or the help. Okay. That was the Waltons. Yes, the Waltons. If that's what you're talking about, yeah, John Boy and all that. Wasn't that the Waltons? I think it is. There you go, Shredder. I'm going to self-identify as a child of Hev. Might get fed some lovely grub. Yeah, you would. Out to lunch said the Waltons. Stu said like a rolling stone. J1 said nothing worse than finding baby's teeth in your Macca's meat patty. Oh, no. Alex said, oh, yeah, you need to start doing some cooking videos again. Love the sound of your cooking, yum, Hev. Oh, yeah. Especially lately with the pizza from scratch and the donuts and it's all going on. It's really good. George said the kitchen's where the food and drink is. Yep. Out to lunch said that's what she said. Stu said the Waltons, that's a blast from the past. Yep. That's the Waltons. Yep. Yep, Pat, how you going, Pat? Good to see ya. Kirsten said, I love getting the news here. There's always a laugh in here. Beautiful people, including you, Hev. God love you, Kirsten. Yeah, everybody contributes. That's why it's so good. Alex said, I think I've only seen the Brady Bunch film when they accidentally have magic mushrooms. Oh. Is that a real Brady Bunch movie, or is that I don't know. I don't know, Alex. I'd never seen that one. George said, my mum used to love watching the Waltons. I did too when I was little. Flyby said, late again. It's 1 a.m, so night shift not my favourite. How you going, Flyby? Stu said, me hunt, you gather. Yeah. Alex said, yeah, I love our Hev family, Kirsten. And with that, guys, I'm going to end it for today. I will be back tomorrow. I hope you can join me, because it'll be interesting like it always is. Hopefully I can work it out and I won't have technical problems tomorrow. Anyway, guys, much love. Hope you're doing well. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys.